Hey guys, welcome back to the continuation of this tutorial. So if you haven't seen how I drafted this beautiful corset, you can go ahead to check my previous video. So in this tutorial, I'll be sharing with you guys how to make a fitted pen skirt and this exaggerated sleeve. So if this is what you'd like to learn, let's just get right into the video. So I'm working with a skirt length of 33.5 plus my turn up rather 35 inches. So at this point, I'm marking my waist length after I've gotten the length of my skirt. So I'm just going to minus 2 to be sure that's what I want to work with. So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my nail line. So your nail line, you're just going to come up by 2 inches from your nail line, so it will be easier for you to walk as you want. So I'm just going to mark my nail line just like so, and I'm going to roll a straight line so it will be easier for you guys to know where I'm actually working on. So the next thing I'm going to do on my waistline, I'm going to take my waist measurement divided by 4. I'm just going to do that, so you can go ahead to take your waist measurement divided by 4 plus 2 inch sewing allowance, and then your nipple to nipple divided by 2, which is going to serve as your dart intake. So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my hip line. So you're still going to minus 2 is serving as your waistband, and you're going to mark 9. If you're of a short height, you're going to mark 8. I did my hip divided by 4 plus 2 inch sewing allowance. So to make this skirt to be pinched on my new line, on your nail line, what you're going to do, whatever is your hip measurement divided by 4, that's what you're going to replace on your nail line. And on your full length, you're still going to minus 2 inches from your hip measurement and place on your full length. I hope you understand. By doing that, you see that your skirt will be so pinched. Your hip measurement, that's what you're going to place on your nail line, and on your nail line you're going to minus 2 inches. So if your hip measurement is 11 inches, so your full length, you're just going to place 9 inches. You're going to minus 2 inches from it. I hope you understand. If you do it that way, you see that your skirt will be pinched and it will be fitted. You can see how it is already from the diagram or from my drafted material. So you're just going to connect all your curves together just like so to the end part of your skirt. You can see how it is. So you're just going to cut this out. It's really not that difficult. Just place your mind and you're going to do achieve it. So to get the back side, we're going to fold our material again into 2, and we'll just place on it just like so. So to get the back part is really nothing that serious. It just tracing the front, but just little 1 or 2 alterations here and there. So you're just going to place your front material on it just like so. So I'm minusing 2 to get my hip measurement again, because my zipper allowance, I actually left 2 inches for it, but on that hip measurement, which is also my butt part, I'm going to make it 2.5 inches, so my butt will be easier to sit on. So on the waist, I'm going to mark 2 inches just like so. On the knee also, I'm going to mark 2 inches just like so, and equally on the full length too, I'm still going to mark 2 inches, just as I did for every other part. But for the waist, it's going to be 2.5. That's why you see that I actually did not touch it. So we're just going to connect on it just like so until we get to the hem of the skirt. So this is the only alteration that I'm doing at doing on the back of the skirt. If not, every other thing, it just, you placing on it and putting your zipper allowance and you trace. And you can see how I was just trying to mark out the dots again, and you're just going to trace out just like so, and completely you are through with cutting both your front and your back. You can see how easy it is. So at this point, I was just trying to cut out my lining. So at the end of your skirt, you're just going to turn up with 1.5 inch, 1 inch, half inch, 2 inches, whichever that works for you. Mind you, if your skirt length is 34, you are going to make it 36 or 35.5, whichever one you're working with to turn up. Don't forget that. else you're going to shorten your skirt if you forget it. So now at this point, I actually forgot to show you guys where I joined the waistband, but the waistband actually, like, we minus 2 inches on it. That just it, and I just collected my waist measurement and just joined it to it. You can see how it is. So now the next thing, I just want to make a neat finishing at this point. So if you don't have a weaving machine and you don't want it to be all scattered, this is what you're going to do. After joining it at the waist part, the next thing, you're just going to take little inch at the top. You saw how I folded it, and you're just going to place it down. Again, you're just going to fold at the top just like so, and you take it to the beginning part of the waist, and you see me pressing down the joint part just like so, and you just pin down. I've not sewn it, but you can see how neat it is. Actually forgot to show where I was joining the waist, but it's just joining a band to the waist. This is the part. Thank God I did not lose the part of this part of the video. So you're just going to carefully do it just like that. You fold a bit and press to it, you fold again and press to it. You just keep doing just like so, and then you take it to your sewing machine, and then you stitch it down together carefully, and it's going to give you a very neat finishing. You can see how it is very neat, and you can go ahead to add your zipper and all of that. That's all for the skirt. So now for the sleeve, our lining is on fold, so we're just going to make a flay, but half one, not the full one. You can see how I actually threw my material. So the next thing we're going to do is to take our arm measurement divided by 2. So mine, I got 9 inches, so we're just going to mark that. It's just basically like cutting our flay. So the length of the sleeve is 8 inches, but I actually marked 8.5 because we'll be turning the main material and the lining together. If you want to make it long, it's completely fine if you want to, but I think it works perfectly fine if you want it to be short. So this is just like cutting a flay. It's cutting a flay. So you're just going to take, but 9 inches, 10 inches, it works like your round arm measurement divided by 2. That's what you're just going to work with just like so, or divided by 4, and it's doubling itself again. So you can see how it is. Like I said, it's a flay, but half flay, not a full one. So the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to mark the midpoint of this flay. You can see how I folded it into 2 initially, so I've marked the midpoint. So we're just going to connect it to the closed edge, not the opened part, to this other part that is closed. So we're just going to draw our curve with our free hand just like so to that particular edge just like so. Then we're going to take it out, not the part that is opened. That part is the under seam of the armhole, so we're taking it to this closed part. We're just going to cut it out just like so. I'm so sorry if I'm fast. I don't want this video to be very long, so we're just going to do it just like so, and basically that's it. So the next thing we're going to do is, you can see this other part that is open. We're just going to give it a trim. I felt like that part was really closed, so we're just going to trim out to make it to be wide a little bit, and eliminate this very sharpy edge just like so. So after that, you can see that we have 4 pieces now, but please do not separate it. We're still going to join two together again. So now the next, we're just going to cut on the main material. If you want your sleeve to be very, very exaggerated, please use hard stay and don't use a soft stay. Just as I did, use a hard stay, so it will be very, very exaggerated, and everybody will see your sleeve. So after cutting it open like that, we're just going to go ahead to join the part that I said is open. We're just going to join them both on the main material and also on the lining. So this is what it looks like after joining. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to join the lining, just like when we're turning our flares. So we're just going to join the lining and the main material together. it's basically halfly. Just put it in your head like that, so it won't be confusing. So I just want to take off this pointy part just a little bit, like so. So like I said, it's halfly. Put it like that in your mind. It's really, don't start discouraging yourself that it's very difficult, you cannot do it. You can definitely do it. Just follow the steps that I am doing, and do accordingly, and you're definitely going to achieve it. So I'm just trying to take off one or two excess that I feel is excess. So we're just going to join our lining and the main material together. Please let the joining part be together. That joining part is actually there, so you'll know where will be under your amp hole. That's why that part is there. So we're just going to join lining and our main material together. So this is it after we had joined our lining and our main material together. So we're just going to trim off and turn over and give it a very good press. So like I said, I didn't want it to be very, very exaggerated. If you want it to be like that, you can use a strong gum string. So at this point, we're just going to fold into two. So now, sorry, that part isn't showing. You're just going to take your round almost elbow measurement, and then you are going to mark. I didn't want mine to be tight, so I added extra half inch to it. So now this part that I have marked, you're just going to join very closely from that part to the top part. You can see how it's looking. So I closed all those parts closely. So now this part is looking too pointy, so we're just going to trim off just like so. We're just going to take that very sharpy part out of it, so we don't let it don't be too pointy. So I wasn't still satisfied, so we're still just going to trim out like that. I'm just managing with this tutorial because I lost a lot. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to start pleating, not from the part that we covered. That's our hand entrance part. So we're just going to pleat at the top, as you see me doing, just like so. I'm sorry if this is confusing, just take your time, you will understand. So we're just going to pleat. You can already see that our exaggerated sleeve is beginning to form out. You can see how it is. So you can just go ahead and add your band to it and add to your sleeve, and basically that just everything for this particular sleeve. So I'm so sorry if it's really not showing very well. I lost a lot of videos. It's really not easy. Sometimes you think it's recording and it's not recording. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this tutorial, and I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, because a lot of amazing sewing tutorials will definitely be coming your way. So bye for now.